I found this thing today. This is one of those little, some kind of, is it recording?
Yes.
Some kind of a little sound card or something. You know, and it reminded me of a story I was going to tell Bay. You know where Jeff's place is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this happened there. Years ago, back in like the late 80s, early 90s, you know what I'm saying, when I first came down here to Phoenix. They were over, there was a bunch of guys over there, you know what I'm saying, that were running one of those little gold mining operations. They used to do this back in the day. They would find, because there was so much of this stuff floating around, you know what I'm saying, on the ground, in the trash, everywhere, you know what I'm saying, that people were, and it's got gold in it. So what the tweakers and the drug addicts and stuff would be doing over in West Phoenix, because this is over there off 27th Avenue, right? They have these little shacks, right? They have 2 or 3, people inside the shack all tweaked out, stripping down these little things for the microchips and the little teeth for the gold. They'd have them strip it all down and they'd be saving piles of it. And then at the end of the day, they'd put it all together and they'd use a propane torch, because gold melts at a relatively low temperature. And they would melt little ingots and they would pour them into the lids of the skull cans, because back then the skull cans had a metal lid, right? And it just reminded, when we found this computer, it just reminded me of it, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what, I need these fools. But this was the thing, see, like, there was enough of this electronic stuff, laying everywhere. People were throwing it away. I mean, geez, there's 10,000 computers a day were hitting the dumpsters. You could find it out behind the old TV shops. There was this TV shop over 7th Street in Bethany Home, where some of these guys I knew of, they used to go out back in the dumpster at night and they would find tons of this stuff. But anyway, that's but it reminded me of that. It's just kind of funny, and I just wanted to tell you about it because you've been to this place where they used to do this.
That's funny.
Well, anyways, to finish the story, see, there was so much of this. There was so much there because computers are changing so fast. Every week, every month, there'd be a new model, a new this, a new that, a new monitor, a new keyboard, a new mouse. And say like that little bio over there, Sony would come out with something, PlayStation, everything like, hey. And so people were just trashing the old shit and just going out and buying the new shit just like that. So, but Timmy and the fellas over there, the old Arizona Dirty Dozen, because they were running this operation, what they did is they would just pay the tweakers, so they give them, throw like a half a gram on the table and they let them split it while they did all this work, and they mined all these little gold pieces of shit. They would melt these little ingots. These fools are taking it uptown somewhere. I never knew where, you know what I'm saying? But they were taking the little gold ingots over to a fence, and he was selling it, and they would get the money. Because remember, back in the 80s and early 90s, gold was like $800 an ounce, and all that shit, like it is now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And these fools were raking in cash, right? At that place, that raggedy home, run down with the drain. They poured cement down the drain, you know what I'm saying, to keep the landlord from shutting the water off. You say, oh, it doesn't drain, so you can't turn the water off, blah, 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 blah. All this stuff. Now this fool that we know, he bought that place for $12,000, contaminated ground and everything, with that little cement bunker in the back and all that shit. And he's over there building his fantasy, making tiny houses out of it. Not even realizing that this used to be one of the main spots in Phoenix, right, for the bad guys. But I just thought you'd get a kick out of it. It's all because I found this thing today when we it just reminded me that I guess it is right when they say old timers are setting in when you can barely remember anything, but you remember something so stupid it's funny.
Oh, shit.